You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. I want to get right to the census. Breaking news here. A federal judge has rejected the Trump administration's plan to switch legal teams involved in the census case. Remember, the Supreme Court kicked it back, saying they wanted more answers as to why the Trump team wants to put a citizenship question on the census. The Department of the of course, Commerce Department announced they were moving forward with printing the census until Donald Trump sent a tweet out saying, no, he was going to issue an executive order to put the question of citizenship on the census, which is kind of hard because he really can't do that. So I want to go to my panel right now. Joining me there in Washington, D.C., Kelly Bethea, communication strategist, Dr. Jason Nichols, University of Maryland Department of African American Studies, Malik Abdul, Vice President, Black Conservative Federation. And so it's quite interesting, folks, to see the Trump administration sitting here desperately trying to put the citizenship question on the census. Malik, the Supreme Court pretty much gave them an out, but then they decided to act a fool. They listened to the Supreme Court. Now Donald Trump wants to be so adamant about this. Can this man take no for an answer?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Initially, when I heard about this, I got it all wrong because I assumed that the conservative justices on the court ruled the same way as the liberal justices, but I don't think that happened. I think that Justice Roberts was actually the tiebreaker there. From much as you said, they were told the Trump administration was just asked to explain what it is that they were doing, the intent behind it. So I assumed initially that that's something that they were going to do, but then it seemed as if they decided not to do it. So I don't know what's going on. It should be easier to explain that. The fact that the federal judge rejected the notion with their intent to change lawyers, I don't even know the rationale behind that. I don't know if just finding a better lawyer would help the situation at all. It seems like what the justices were looking for was just a better answer, not necessarily a better lawyer. So it seems a little confusing at this point, but this is where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah, but Kelly, look, I mean, the Trump administration, they're constantly confusing when it comes to any of these issues. And let's just be honest. I mean, look, take your butt whooping like a man and go away. But to keep trying to, first of all, the Commerce Department heard what the Supreme Court said. Then Trump sends a tweet out, I'm going to try to issue an executive order. You can't you can't issue an executive order as if the Supreme Court doesn't matter.
There's a lot of things that this president can't do that he's going to try to do anyway because he is a narcissist at heart. A lot of people are saying, like my panelists here saying, they don't know what's going on. It's confusing. It's not all that confusing. They're just stalling because they were told if you don't have a reason for this, it's basically going to be dismissed. So they have every stalling tactic available to them to try and stall and try and basically find a reason that's not racist, but you can't find a reason because it is racist. So yeah, they need to let it go, but you know how Trump is. He's not going to. So we basically have him doing circus stuff in court, and it's crazy.
Well, the census is a critical issue. We of course, we live streamed the summit a few weeks ago. Black leaders got together talking about the importance of it. And the reality is a lot of people, Malik, have absolutely no confidence that Donald Trump's administration really wants to count everyone. This is important. I've talked to people in the Commerce Department. It is, frankly, a mess over there. You don't have a real plan. How do you reach out to African Americans, Latinos, and others, people who historically have been undercounted? And so it's a little hard to even trust this administration with going forward and having an accurate census count.
Yeah, and the idea that Trump doesn't have a lot of goodwill out there really isn't surprising. I don't think that the asking the question itself is racist. I don't know what the motivations are. We can assume what their motivations are, but I don't think that asking the question is racist. But it seems like the process and how we actually get there, that does seems to be a mess. I'll agree with you with that. You know, that does seem to be a mess, but I can't understand why is it that they can't get this right. This is one of those instances where, again, the justice has said, well, explain yourself. Obviously, the answer that the federal government gave initially was not sufficient, and so that's why they said that you need to explain yourself. And so now we're here with the Trump administration. It is hard to figure out. I mean, that the idea that we even got here. I don't know. I don't know if it will be difficult, especially for African Americans. I don't know if it will be difficult to really do an accurate count. I don't know if that's something that's
Yeah, actually, Malik, it has been. It has been one of the greatest concerns has been the idea of undercounting. That has constantly been an issue because of folks not necessarily trusting and also the government not really having an understanding of how to reach people. Kelly, that is an issue. And look, this administration, they lied. They lied, first of all, by saying they wanted the citizenship question to protect the Voting Rights Act, something they don't give a damn about. And they lied consistently about why. We now know, because we got the hard drive of the white guy who died in Florida, that it was all about undercounting people of color. And so, frankly, people cannot trust this administration, this Commerce Department, to do the right thing when it comes to counting the census.
No, absolutely. And while the question itself, are you a citizen, is not on its face racist, again, the court is asking for the intent behind the question, which is racist. And if they can provide a rationale that is not racist, then we have something to talk about here. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have rationale outside of bigotry and racism to put this question on the census, which is why the question is not going on the census. And like I said,
again, the issue, I'm beyond the question. What I'm saying is they can't be trusted to even do an accurate count. So I want to go to my next story, actually, and I want to pull them and ask Congresswoman Val Demings about this. She's from Florida as well. And so before I talk to her about what I want to talk to her about, let me pull her in here. Congresswoman Val Demings, you're there out of Florida. Are you concerned that this administration is not going to do all it can to properly count all Americans?
Well, you know, it's a shame that we're having this conversation. The census, as we all know, from its inception has been about counting persons so that governments could provide the proper level of service. The Supreme Court has even weighed in on this, and it's not surprising to me, Roland, and it's pretty sad. But now the president is defying the Supreme Court and wants to do a workaround to include a question about citizenship on the census. So to answer your question, no, I have no faith and confidence that this president, this administration, and his enablers will do the right thing, and let's count people and not ask questions about citizenship.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. MarijuanaStock.org is another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you, of course, now know that those folks are invested in a publicly traded company. They raised a ton of money in a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Now, of course, they have a new investment opportunity, which is as good or if not even better. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana, with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Now, until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all the plants, which makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is real simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords. And you can get in on the action. You can invest in the crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Like I said, you may not want to miss out on this opportunity. Go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org to get the game and to do it now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.